Hello. Our theme, Love Is, continues with the second word in our Lenten series. Love is forgiving. This word, more than most, is challenging. Love, real love, God's love, is forgiving. It gives us a future. There is no future without forgiveness. Archbishop Desmond Tutu argues from his work in the aftermath of black oppression and systemic injustice in South Africa. There's also no Christianity, no Christian faith without forgiveness. Marjorie Thompson writes, "It is impossible to conceive of any expression of Christian discipleship that ignores or excludes a virtue so central to the good news. The entire message of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection would be lost without it." One day, one of the disciples named Peter asked Jesus, "Lord, if another member of the church sins against me, how often should I forgive? As many as 7 times?" Jesus said to him, "Not 7 times, but I tell you 77 times." Peter's question suggests that he was counting how often he forgave someone. So Jesus told a story, as he often did. A servant owed his king several $1,000,000. And when the king called in the loan, the servant couldn't pay it. The king ordered the servant thrown in jail. The servant threw himself to the ground and begged for more time to pay. The king knew that that would never happen, and instead forgave the millions he owed. That same servant, now free of his debt, ran into a man who owed him a day's wage. He demanded repayment on the spot. The man couldn't pay, so the servant had him thrown into prison. The king was furious when he found out how the servant acted. He asked the servant this question, "Should you not have had mercy on him as I had mercy on you?" Jesus' point to Peter and to us is clear. We forgive others because we were first forgiven. That's where it all starts. We've been forgiven a debt we could never repay, our broken relationship with God, one another, and the world. In Jesus Christ, God has released us from that debt, and will never again bring that debt up to us. If God has forgiven us, how can we forgive others? Forgiveness isn't easy. Sometimes it feels like a grind or a slog. Forgiving people we know and love the most can be harder than forgiving strangers. And sometimes asking for forgiveness ourselves is the hardest of all. But the payoff is worth it. When we practice forgiveness, we experience real life, new depths of God's love for us, and what it means to be fully human people who love deeply. How can you practice love through forgiveness? When God's forgiveness becomes our way of life, the love of Christ gives us a future, one of hope, one of love, one of new life. We hope you'll join us during this season of Lent as we understand better what love is.